If you had seen PML 11 last weekend, you would have noticed Wraith had a 100% pick or ban rate. He is simply insane for a numerous amount of reasons, and I put out a Twitter poll to kind of see what you guys think about Wraith. In this video, I want to give my constructive suggestions, my ideas behind what I think could change with Wraith. Amazon is the tried and true way of shopping for anything you need or want at the lowest prices. Support the channel at no cost to you by doing your Amazon shopping through the link in the video description. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Paragon guide video. I am Sylphin, where we're talking about Wraith. What are some things that I think need to seriously change with Wraith? Why is he completely nonsense, in my opinion? He deals an insane amount of damage, both with his basic attack and his knock-knock. I mean, he gets ahead, and it just does an insane amount of damage. It is great poke, and while I don't have too much issue with knock-knock, it's the rest of his kit. He has free wards. He makes him ungankable. Even when he does get ganked, he has his ultimate. Poof, there he goes, along with his support and his rest of his entire team. And his back it up, I don't really need to say how insanely powerful. Putting somebody back in time 3 seconds is in an engagement. It makes people basically, you can chase anybody down, you can confirm any kill, you can save your own life once again. And Wraith, with his numbers the way that they are, and with the fact that most teams in the higher-ish MMRs, they can follow up. They can use what he brings to the table and exploit it. It almost feels like an exploit, really. I mean, it's not. It's all intended, but anyways. So, Wraith, he's insane. Whether you believe that or not is kind of a moot point at right now. He was banned, picked for a reason. High competitive players know it. They want him changed. I mean, it's pretty much, that's just how it is. So, here was the Twitter poll. This was it. I screenshot this just moments ago. 73 votes. Thank you for doing it. Follow me on Twitter at Sylphin_Paragon for other things like this and, of course, notifications. But take a look. 10% would like a complete rework. That actually does sound quite interesting, and while I do like that, that would be interesting. 11% say serious ability changes. I would agree. Some serious changes do need to happen for sure. 44%, almost half of all people, say some number tweaks. Yeah, that's probably the most sensible and would kind of stick with his kind of his intended purpose, I suppose, even though that intended purpose has been changing. And 35%, unbelievably to me, say that he's completely fine. Like I said earlier, MMR can't handle Wraith at the moment for very much longer. I can't handle Wraith for very much longer. You know, it's so I don't like I literally don't know what to say to that. But what is really nice is that 66% of people want a change. And you know what? The majority usually is right, and in a, you know, kind of clear-cut thing like this, I mean, it's pretty darn simple. So there it is. There's the community's opinion. At least 73 votes of my community. Anyways, so what are some changes that we could make? So, Wraith changes? Question mark. These are simply my ideas. Option 1 is the complete rework, just going top to down, no real sensible method to it. This is an ability carry Wraith. If we're going to totally rework Wraith, I think I'm going to totally rework Wraith into how they're trying to make Wraith. They're trying to make him into a carry. His basic attack, his carry-like scaling. So, I mean, I guess you could go that way, but we don't have a true ability carry in Paragon, at least in the truest sense of the ability carry word. We have ability assassins. A countess can delete a person in less than like 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Like, that is an assassin. Assassin is basically an ability carry, but just in a very shorter time frame. An ability carry, however, in my opinion, is one that deals its damage more over time. It's more sustained damage that is obviously very, very high. Hence, carry. So, with this, we also need a premise. We also need some sort of a design philosophy around this hero. And for me, I think Wraith would be a superb, higher skill cap, sniper-themed hero. He's the only hero that has a snipe in his kit. So I'm going to run with that and run with Epic's new direction kind of his ability carry theme. So his basic attack has to get toned down. 100% of an ability carry, it's all about your abilities, not your basic attack. Hence, hits harder and slower like Severog, but scales like a caster. No attack speed. You're an ability carry, not a normal carry, so just you're moving away from his basic attack, but it still has to be substantial as you are a damage dealer. Hits harder and slower like Severog, but scales like a caster. Ends up hitting kind of like a Crunch, who obviously doesn't deal too much basic damage, but more than a caster, less than your standard fighter, and no attack speed. Knock Knock. This is going to gain carry levels of power scaling, so 4 to 4.5, just because, I mean, he's going to be a carry, he needs to deal that damage, but as the same base damage, and the rest is the same. It's actually a pretty solid ability. That's kind of his key defining feature. Like, he snipes, that's his snipe ability, right? That is what it's going to be. I think that would honestly be fine. When you add up the numbers out of all of this, it's actually, it's pretty serious. Like, it's pretty serious, and with the lower cooldowns of these abilities that I'm going to propose, it actually looks pretty darn good for an ability carry damage output. Back It Up is going to be reworked. I really like this idea. It still has some utility to it. Some carries do have some utility. And with this whole Recce themed, I thought I could rework that in here a little bit. Back It Up is now reworked. Now it's a snipe. It's a snipe just like Knock Knock, but a weaker version. It deals about 50% less damage than your Knock Knock, but it applies Back It Up on hit. When you actually hit somebody with this second snipe, this Back It Up snipe, then it applies Back It Up, but it's only 0.81, 1.2, 1.4 seconds prior, which is less than half, especially in the early game, the effect that it has now, which is 3 seconds. So it has a little bit of utility. If you can manage to hit somebody when you're close, like when they're close to you, which is hard, then they're sent away. But I mean, he's a carry. You can't have too much mobility. You can't have too much utility. So I've tried to keep kind of his theme in here, and I think that would work quite well. I mean, if somebody's running away, Back It Up, which is a snipe dealing damage, fulfilling his role, but has some utility, brings it back, and he kind of has some confirmability on top of his sniper theme. Who's there? I mean, having basically free wards on a carry is completely nonsense, almost. So I reworked this into kind of some vision thing, but it's different. Who's There is reworked. After a 1.5 second channel, so you have to stand still and for 1.5 seconds channel, send out a moving wave of sonar pulses that reveals enemy heroes caught for 6 seconds. That's it. It was 4 going all the way up to 12 or something like that, but now it's flat 6 seconds. Travels through geometry for 2,000, 25, 3,000 units, which is the direction, the maximum range of your snipe in a 90-degree arc. So not 180 in front of you, but 90 degrees in front of you. That is the wave of these pulses that go out, and uses the current Back It Up animation. They kind of like they could slow that down, so it's kind of like over 1.5 seconds. He goes, and these pulses travel that. I mean, it wouldn't be too fast, and it wouldn't be too slow. I mean, That would be interesting. So he has some vision, but not too much. It's directional. He has to sit there and channel it. So you have to use this smartly. The cooldown of this it would have to be pretty high, just so that you could, you know, you can't use it all the time for free vision, but it would be maybe 30 seconds, 40 maybe, up from 16, something like that. Has some utility, still harkens to his reconnaissance sort of theme. There you go. Surprise, surprise. Not completely reworked, but it's fairly reworked. After 1.5 seconds, which is the same, only Wraith goes into stealth. Only Wraith, and he gets the same 15% move speed buff. The duration is decreased 6, 9, 12 seconds, down about 25%. But who's there? Your vision ability can be cast and with no delay in stealth. You don't get out of stealth. You can cast it with no delay. You're just running around in stealth. You can cast your vision, and either knock knock or back it up damage is increased by 10, 15, 20%. Cooldown of 180, 60. Now the 10, 15, 20%, the damage of both knock knock and back it up with that 20% buff won't be a one-shot. I made sure that 10, 15, or 20% damage increase of either base. You won't be able to one-shot somebody. It'll max out about 800, 900 damage for your knock knock, unless there's like something crazy like red zone or something in there. But I think this works into his sniper thing. He has 2 snipes, and his ult should be something about sniping with his reconnaissance and the stealth thing. Only him go into stealth, maybe confirm something or escape, and maybe use his vision for something like that. So he still has something like that with a damage buff and a cooldown of 180 and 60. 60 in the late game, just so that he can just get more enhanced abilities out there. You know, basically every team fight he gets a very empowered snipe on somebody. Maybe, you know, gets on a squishy target to kind of turn the tide right off the bat of an engagement. Something like that. Maybe some of this seems overpowered. I like these, just my ideas. Numbers obviously have to be totally balanced, but if complete rework, an ability carry, there's still a lot of utility in here. Hopefully there's more damage to fulfill the role of the carry. But I mean, of course, Wraith is a very unique hero, so if you're picking Wraith, you probably have some sustained damage elsewhere on the team, and you just need utility or something. That's my idea for a complete rework, going for a higher skill cap, sniper-themed ability carry. Now, the second option is serious ability changes. Option 2. He's going back to being a mid-caster. He's a sniper, and with some utility as a caster. That's him. Mostly in the mid lane to fulfill the traditional role, but I mean, you play him in solo lane. I don't know. He's a caster. We're going back. Serious ability changes. His basic attack, same as before. He hits slower like Severog, but scales like a caster with no attack speed. It suits like he has a sniper rifle. He should hit slower, but a little bit harder, less attack speed, so that the DPS is kind of the same as another caster. He just hits harder, stuff like that. Knock knock. 3.15 power scaling, up from 2.5, which is the same as Cosmic Rift, but the same damage because it's only a 5-second cooldown, while Cosmic Rift and Sticky Mine are in a higher cooldown. It's not crazy power scaling, 3.5 or 4, but it has the same damage because it's lower cooldown, so you can use it more often to get the same kind of damage output. Back it up. I think it's the worst issue about Wraith, and that I think this still needs to be nerfed. Range is 13, 15, 17, 1900, down from 13, 16, 50, 2000, and 2350. It has to come down. It has to. It's ridiculous range. The confirmability is too high. You need to. I think there needs to be a little bit more positional mastery that they're calling it in order to get it, and that 450 unit range, I think would nerf in the late game would really, really help. And the teleport time is down to 1.5 seconds prior. 3 seconds before is an insane amount of time. You just need to displace somebody a little bit for other follow-up to occur. You're the setter-upper, not the destroyer-upper, right? So the cooldown is 30, 28, 26, 24, up from 28, 24, 2016. You could almost back it up to start the engagement, and then by the end of the engagement, use it again at 16 seconds. It's a pretty long engagement, but in this 30, 28, 26, 24, you're using it once. You're using it once. That is enough of a snowball effect in any engagement used properly, in my opinion. Who's there? Reveal is down to 4, 5, 6, 7 from 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 seconds is an insane amount of time. I mean, it pretty much negates almost anybody, like any stealth hero, from being there. And that's not kind of the point. The point is just to, oh, there's a hero there. Done. Not, they're come out of the fight completely. Maybe that is the inherent nature of being a stealth hero with somebody with vision. But it needs to be just like a ward. It needs to be more like a ward, less than a now you're screwed. Mana cost is 45, just because 25 is so little. And the cooldown is 24, up from 16. Just you have to be smart. Smart. Increase that skill cap a little bit. Positional awareness and situational awareness to use it. Surprise, surprise, the radius. I mean, it's forever. 1,500 units, touch beyond ranged basic attack, and is a 1.5 second channel with a 40% movement speed decrease while channeling. Just so that, I mean, yeah, there has to be some, there should, like, if you're going to get your team completely safe from an engagement, completely safe, just stealth. Yes, if they don't have finer playthings, there are some other options, like ways to negate that, wards and stuff like that. I think there has to be something like a channel, and he has to move a little bit slower. There is a little bit of a sound to it. I think that would work well. Duration is 8, 10, 12, down from 8, 12, 16. It feels right. Surprise, surprise, feels right in the level 1 and 2, 8 to 10 second or 8 to 12 second range. 16 seconds just feels too long. It's like, okay, like I'm out of the engagement. I should be out of stealth now. Or okay, I've started the engagement. Like stealth didn't need to go on. It feels better. So 8, 10, 12 I think would work better. Serious ability changes I think would put him more back into his caster role, his caster utility themed, sniper utility themed caster. I really like that. I really like that. That really does suit him, in my opinion. This option here is some number tweaks. The one I least like, in my opinion, because he's the premise behind Wraith, and then like with just a wee little bit of number tweaks, it's nebulous to me. He's a ranged utility caster fighter thing. His basic is more like a fighter. Well, now it's more like a carry, but he has caster-like abilities, kind of, with insane utility. Kind of like a support. So he's a ranged utility caster fighter thing. Like, what? So, the premise, I don't know. The basic attack, okay. Just like Sevarog, basically he hits like a fighter. That's what this means. He hits like a fighter. His basic attack is a fighter. So, it's relevant, not too relevant like a carry or an assassin, but it's not as weak as a caster because he has a freaking sniper rifle, right? Knock knock stays the same. I think it's pretty solid ability. Maybe it does too many damage, but I mean that's his only damage thing. So to meet the caster part of his kit, I think maybe it'll stay the same. Back it up, it has to be nerfed. Range is 13, 15, 17, 1900, down from what it is now. And teleportation time, I think, still needs to be reduced to 2 seconds at least. It was 1.5 in this one because of the other changes, but 2 seconds at least, down from 3. I still think that has to happen. Who's there? The reveal time who's there is the same from before. The cooldowns maybe a little bit lower than my previous rework, up from 16. Surprise, surprise, the radius, okay, fine, increase it a little bit, but it has to come down, in my opinion. People can be like in another, like in the jungle, and you use it, and you're there. 1.5 second delay, it's the same. Just same as it currently is, not like it's not a channel. The duration, I think it needs to come down 10 or 8, 10, 12. He needs a nerf, guys. Remember, he needs a nerf, pretty much, period. So you need to change that. That's some number tweaks. So he goes back to being this not carry basic attack, which is what he has. He deals the same damage with his knock. His back it up needs a nerf. That's his most broken ability. Who's there? I mean, it's just strong. He's almost ungankable. Maybe that's his theme, which it would serves better in the mid lane because you're open from all sides. And his surprise needs a little nerf as well. There you guys go. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I think I may make another video today about options of countering Wraith. If they're not going to touch him, what are some options to counter him? I'm thinking a Shinbi with high sustain to deal with his high damage. So like a Possessed Sprykin to get an early advantage. And then you go into something like Wicked Riposte to purify yourself with some damage. You can just follow him up. Purify yourself out of his back it up and just keep on deleting him every single time. Something like that. Countess, she's terribly unmeta right now. She gets completely destroyed in all the CC, but she can completely destroy him, especially with Wicked Riposte, which is great. It could be great on her. The ability damage deals with his snipe, and the power obviously deals with him through her damage. So it's just, let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? I would really like to know. He's insane, man. He's crazy. Patreon allows creators to offer their fans a way of supporting them and what they do. With flexible and painless payment options, anyone can support their creator for as little as $1 a month. If you would like to help me do what I love, check out the link in the video description to learn more. Please like this video, like it, dislike it, share it with the community, please. I really want people to think about it. Talk to Epic, tell Epic, like, things he needs to change. He's nuts. Please, please check the video description for links to my website, merchandise store, and Amazon affiliate link, as well as all my social media right here. Huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, YouTube sponsors, and Twitch subscribers going out of the way to support me and make these videos possible. Until next time, like always, guys, stay optimistic and positive.